Hi grade 5s, hope you are all doing very well today. So as you already know that you are having a test today for English, okay? So what are we going to do today? We are going to do a test review, okay? I think you have got the test already, so please listen attentively to my video and you might get some tips to answer the questions correctly, okay? Alright, so let's have a look at the first question. You remember that you had to do a project on Nelson Mandela? Have you guys done it all? I hope so, because I know for a fact that some of you have done it already, because you have asked me about the project, whether you should keep it or not. So please, yes. If you still have the project, please keep it. I will give you a score once the schools are back up and running again. So let's have a look at the first question about a paragraph about Nelson Mandela. For this session, we are going to study on how to write a paragraph. So my question to you guys is, what is a paragraph? Okay, I'm going to write on the board for you. What is a paragraph? What is a paragraph? Okay, you all are familiar with a paragraph because you guys have done it already in the previous tests and activities. But today we are going to look into it more with detail. Okay. So let's break it down. Paragraph. What is a paragraph? A paragraph is made up of sentences. So it is made up of sentences. Okay, because a paragraph consists of sentences. If you don't have sentences, you do not have a paragraph. Okay, a paragraph should have at least how many sentences? 5 sentences, okay? 5 or more sentences. Okay. A paragraph should have a topic sentence, okay, a paragraph should have a topic sentence. It should have a what? A supporting sentence. Okay, it should have a supporting sentence and it should have a concluding sentence. Okay, so these are the things a paragraph should have. You just see if I don't have, okay. And also it should relate to each other. So all the paragraphs, they should relate with each other. For example, the topic sentence, the supporting sentence, the concluding sentence, they should relate to each other. Alright. Okay, so let's have a look quickly. So a paragraph is made up of sentences. It has at least 5 sentences. It should have a topic sentence, a supporting sentence, and a concluding sentence. Okay, so this is a paragraph. But now we are going to have a look at the following. I'm just going to erase this quickly. the most important part of when you're writing a paragraph, you should always think about three things. You should think about the topic sentence, okay? You should think about the supporting sentences. Supporting sentences, and lastly you have to think about the concluding sentences. Okay, so these are the three most important things you have to think of before you're writing your paragraph. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one. A topic sentence. What is a topic sentence? Okay, when you guys have done your project about Nelson Mandela, your topic sentence are normally the heading of the paragraph. For example, when you write when you prepared your project, what was the topic sentence? The topic sentence is normally Nelson Mandela, or it can be the biography of Nelson Mandela. So it can be either the story of Nelson. Okay, Nelson, I don't have enough space, so it's the story of Nelson Mandela. You can have a biography of Nelson Mandela. Okay, biography of Nelson. It can be, what else? What can we use? The life of Nelson Mandela. Okay, you see, so this is normally your topic sentence. So this is normally the heading which will be at the top of your paragraph. So we can see instantly, okay, this would be about Nelson Mandela. But then we think, who is this guy? Who is he? Okay, and that's where the supporting sentences come in, because the supporting sentences describe or explain the topic sentence. Okay, so then you have now supporting sentences. President of South Africa. Okay, so then you can tell me about his presidency. Okay, he was a freedom fighter. Okay, he was a freedom fighter. He was jailed for 25 years. Okay, he believed in equal rights. Okay, because the supporting sentences explain or it describe who he was. For example, there are a few, like 1, 2, 3, 4 things about it. He was the president of South Africa. Then you can talk more about his presidency. Okay, he was a freedom fighter because he fight for freedom. Okay, so you can tell me more about his freedom fighter. What did he do to become a freedom fighter? He was jailed for 25 years. Why was he in jail? And equal rights. What is equal rights? How did he get South Africans equal rights? You understand? Because back in the day, the white was higher than the black people, and then we are equal. Okay, equal rights. For example, okay, so this are also some examples to explain who he was. Okay, So now we're coming to the concluding sentences. Okay, the concluding sentences is normally the ending of the paragraph. What was the conclusion? Meaning, what was the outcome of his presidency, freedom fighter, just 25 with equal rights? What happened at the end? Okay, so this is normally your ending sentence. Okay. For example, he's a freedom fighter. He was jailed for 25 years. He will have equal rights. What was his goal at the end? Did he reach his goal? Did he reach the objectives he wanted for the people of South Africa? Okay, you all understand? So then you pretty much have a topic sentence, a supporting sentence, and a concluding sentence. So that is mostly 3 headings. Okay. So in a test you will have to write about Nelson Mandela. So while teacher Lynn is pausing the video, I will show you how it's done. Okay guys, so let's have a look. Okay. For example, this is the outline of a paragraph. These lines represent the content of the paragraph. Okay. So let's have a look at the first line. Okay. The first line would be normally your what? It would normally be your topic. Normally your topic sentence. Then you have to leave space. So 1 or 2 lines, okay? 1 or 2, 3 lines, it doesn't matter how many lines. Normally, average 1 line or 2 lines you have to leave open before you start with your supporting sentences. Okay, your supporting sentences. That's how you do it. And then lastly, at the bottom, you will have your concluding sentences or concluding. Okay, you see, fairly simple, right? So in a test, you will need to write a paragraph about Nelson Mandela. Okay, who is Nelson Mandela? All right, that was part of your project before the school closed, so please have fun and enjoy. All right, so now the next one would be will or going to. Okay, so let me just erase here quickly and then I'll explain to you. You have done this in class already. Remember, it was a worksheet about. I'm going to show you the worksheet. It's this worksheet. Will and going to. Okay. So what is the difference between will and going to? So we have will and going to. Can you remember what's the difference between will and going to? Very good. Yes, will, we use will when we have for future things. Okay, will is future. Okay, we will go to Bangkok. Okay, we will go to the supermarket. We will go tomorrow. We will go next week. We will go next year. You see, it says all in the future, but it is not planned. So whenever you say something that you haven't planned, then we will use will. Okay, so this normally is unplanned activities. So these are unplanned activities. Okay, so these are things you have not planned, or when somebody did not plan. Okay, for example, will you close the window? Will you eat your food? Will you please call teacher Lynn? Will you please call teacher Lani? Will you please go upstairs? Okay, it's something you do not plan. Okay, when we talk about going to, this is activities actions, right? Actions that are planned, okay? Meaning you plan for something. For example, next week we're going to have an English test because I have planned or prepared the English test for you. Tomorrow we're going to have an oral exam, or tomorrow we're going to have a presentation about Nelson Mandela. Tomorrow we're going to Brazil. Tomorrow we're going to catch a plane to Europe. Tomorrow, or this is also can be also in the future. But the difference between the two is will is unplanned, is something you didn't plan to do. Going to is when we plan something to do. It's all about actions you are not going to do, or you haven't planned it, and the actions you are going to do which you have planned. Okay. So in the test, you will also see, for example, we have an English exam tomorrow. For example, will be will or going to. I have to study all night. Okay, sorry. We what? Will be will or going to have an English exam tomorrow. I have studied all night. So it means it is a planned thing. So what will be will or going to? Next one, it will be going to or will you open the window please? It is hot and humid in here. Okay, is that planned or unplanned? Okay, waiter said, what would you like as a starter, sir? The man says, I have the lentil soup, please. For example, when you're going to a restaurant and you sit with the menu and you look through the menu and you decide what you want to eat, then what do? You are planning on what you're going to have for dinner or lunch or breakfast, okay? Who do you think won the tournament? Is that planned or unplanned? That is opinionated, okay? So you think of who's going to win. So that is opinionated, so it's something you cannot plan. You cannot plan for somebody to win. It just happens. When you run, you don't know who's going to win because you don't know who's the fastest. Okay? You are planning for the tournament, but you cannot plan to win because you don't know who your competitor is. The scientist says people produce artificial organs in 2070. So, is it planned or unplanned? That is opinionated, so meaning they suspect. Okay. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you here? So please have a read carefully through your sentences and think about whether it's planned or unplanned. If you're reading through the sentences, and look at the situation as well. Think about whether it's planned or unplanned. Okay. For the next one, let's have a look. Okay. You will have you have it also in the book is, you remember, let me just have a look in the book again, page, I think it's on page 66 and 67 in the course book. I hope you guys have collected all your course books from the school. Let's just see page. Let's have a look. On page 76 and 77, okay, so the next question is page 76 and 77. So the questions are: I shall remain, I could not settle my studies, father think me worthless, I am glad of their company. So there you need to match the column A with column B by writing only A to J to the next number, alright? And then for the next one, they will be on page 66 and 67 would be complete the following sentences, right? So there you have the word keys in the box, and you must tell me, does a lot of experiments, who is a good organizer, organizing actors and actresses, who has a good voice, who is very creative, who has a good ideas for business, who is a nerd, what is very person, a builder is what, and an athlete is what. Okay. Then if we have a look on page in your homework books, you will have the questions if, but, so, when, where, and. It is also in your homework book. I think it's on page 65 if I'm not mistaken, in your homework book, English homework book, page 65. Kraken looked like an island. Okay, and then you need to complete the gaps. Alright? So let's carry on to the next page. And then for the last one is fables. Okay? Can you remember what's fables? Fables is like Tom and Jerry, Johnny Bravo, they are all cartoons that doesn't really exist. Fables are something like cartoons, like Tom and Jerry, Johnny Bravo, the Powerpuff Girls. Did you know of any cartoons, Asian cartoons that the students like? Oh, she's shy at the moment. Teacher Linda is shy, she doesn't want to talk. Okay, but it's okay, it doesn't matter. But it's all cartoons. Okay, so I want you guys to come up with a nice fable and please describe your character. A character is also a fable. A fable is a character in a cartoon. Alright guys, so that will be for our English test review. So I will see you in the next science video and also the Zoom this afternoon. Bye guys.